Lambremont Webre is an attorney, and he is a futurist, and he's been very actively involved in otherworldly matters, the visitations from those from elsewhere, and we'd like to have him with us. Mr. Webre, thanks for being here. How are you?
Yes, fine, thanks, and I'm very, very happy to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you. We're going to get to some of the stuff that is a little esoteric, but I want to start out with something I remember talking about on another program that I hosted about your work, because one of the things that was attributed to you is the discussion about the fact that the other planets, the other ETs, call them what you want, on other planets, were rather chagrined at the Earth because of all the wars and the problems we have, and that they really did not want to incorporate us into their universal, call it a UN or United Nations of Planets, whatever you want to call it, that they were skeptical about this planet and its inability to live peaceably. Is that a correct assessment of your view?
Well, I wouldn't. I think that that's a very kind of an Earth-centric point of view, and I think that the view of our planet, say in what I would call the dimensional ecology, is much more circumspect, and that is that we are and have been subject to occupation and intervention by a whole number of predatory extraterrestrial species that have been here for some time to our detriment, number one. Number two, that we've had the benefit of having the galactic governance bodies, specifically through the upper dimensional ethical human ET civilizations like the Pleiadians, the Alpha Centaurians, that act as a consortium. They sort of look out for us, and they're actually attributed with having developed through genetic engineering Homo sapiens. However, they are also subject to what we call the law of non-intervention. So it's all very paradoxical in that they're charged with looking out for us, but they can't intervene except under certain circumstances. And that has resulted, especially in the modern era, with our being subjected to secret agreements with predatory extraterrestrial civilizations like the Draco reptilians and the Orion Greys, who entered into, in the early to mid 1930s, agreements with both the US government and with Nazi Germany that have led to the abduction programs, have led to mind control programs, have led to many of the ills that we've seen, for the past.
Let me just interject and ask a question, because you've covered a great deal.
Yeah.
You say that there are those who do not have our best interest, who have already infected this planet, if you will. Have they taken? Try to be brief with each answer. Have they taken over human bodies?
Oh, okay.
Yes or no question, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you mean by taking over human bodies. Do you mean you mean like walk-ins or things like that?
That they take over, they use your body to be part of the human race, so to speak. Is any of that going on?
Oh, that's exactly how the dimensional ecology works. And so right now, through what we call star seeds, it's it's likely that a very large number of what we call humans are actually advanced consciousnesses from the Pleiades, from Alpha Centauris, from Sirius, and from other advanced places are actually walking around on the planet, and they're the ones that are working for human progress, to break down borders, to end war, to end disease, poverty, etc.
So those beings, I'll just use that term,
Yeah.
Are actually trying to do good for this planet. Is that correct?
Yes. They're.
You go from there. Let me just go from there.
Yeah.
Can we pinpoint who these beings are? Can you say, for example, that John Smith in Dubuque, Iowa, or Pierre Marceau in Paris, or Helmut Schmidt in Germany? I mean, can you tell us who these people actually are that have been taken over by beings from elsewhere?
Well, I don't think that that's the exact terminology. What it is that advanced souls in the dimensional ecology come in and incarnate into human bodies. And
those come from elsewhere, correct? They don't come from the Earth.
Right. So that
all right, so
the Earth
elsewhere, but can you name any human beings, as we know human beings to be, can you name any of them that have that characteristic about them?
Well, we can name and we can identify the profile of individual humans that fits the profile, say, of starseeds or crystal kids or early indigos that are mainly composed of advanced ETs that are here for a specific mission relating to the benefit of the planet, as opposed to coming here to do a 9-to-5 job, raise a family, and kind of go in a routine incarnation because they're relatively young souls and they belong more to the planet.
Now, I've got to break this down to a fundamental point. Are there human beings today who are actually these other beings pretending to be human beings? I have 30 seconds before breaking.
Okay, well, it's really complex, and on our planet there are ETs walking around. There are advanced ETs inside human bodies walking around. This is a real arena for mixing of all sorts of stripes of opinion and outlook from all over the galaxy and all over the dimensions.
Not just an alternative to the mainstream media. We're the premier independent talk radio network. We are GCN. Was The Exorcist a fictional movie? This is Mike Siegel. Once you hear my interviews with Father Eugene Gallagher recorded in March of 1974, you will believe that possession and exorcism are powerful and real forces in the universe. Father Gallagher taught William Peter Blatty on the subject of exorcism, which led Blatty to write the book and result in the production of the film version of The Exorcist in 1973. Father Gallagher's interviews with me were so powerful that Warner Home Video decided to use 20 minutes of our 2.5-hour interview in the 40th anniversary release of The Exorcist last year. Now you can have the entire 2.5-hour interview on DVD. Order your copy of this unforgettable interview at www.mikestiegel.com. www.mikestiegel.com. Keep the lights on when you watch this compelling interview. www.mikestiegel.com. That's SIEGEL. Are you tired of commuting to a job that makes someone else rich, working harder than ever, but getting nowhere? Do you hate spending hundreds of dollars every week on daycare, having someone else raise your children? With our opportunities, you can start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss, work from home, and live a happier life. At Be the Boss Network, hundreds of work-from-home opportunities that you can literally start today and be earning money as soon as next week. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You get to be the boss. Get out of the rat race. Work from home. Go to freedom106.com right now and change your life today. That's freedom, the number 106.com. Go to freedom106.com and start earning money as soon as next week. You will be the boss. Go to freedom106.com. Attorney spokesperson Adam Pulaski of the Pulaski Law Firm with principal office in Houston, Texas, is the attorney responsible for the content of this ad. This ad is not legal advice, and the choice of a lawyer should not be based solely upon advertisement. Services may not be available in all states. Attention, Xarelto users. If you or a loved one took Xarelto and suffered a serious bleeding event, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Xarelto is a popular prescription blood thinner used to prevent blood clots and protect patients from strokes. These serious bleeding events have led to numerous cases of hospitalization and even death. Phone lines are open 24/7. Call 800-261-0937. That's 800-261-0937. If you're worried about your health and you're tired of the nasty side effects of harsh drugs or antibiotics, then look no further. Supernatural Silver is the answer. Supernatural Silver is a powerful immune system enhancer that can be used every day to help keep you healthy and well with none of those nasty side effects. It's extremely safe for use internally as well as topically. And Supernatural Silver is hundreds of times more effective than colloidal or ionic silver. It is perfect for use in the sinuses, eyes, ears, and on any wound or skin issue. Supernatural Silver is also extremely effective when taken orally and can help fight off bacteria, viruses, and mold that may be overwhelming your immune system. Go to supernaturalsilver.com, supernaturalsilver.com, and use the promo code SILVER2015 for 30% off of your entire order. And give yourself and your loved ones a fighting chance. With Supernatural Silver, we the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. Is capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237. And back we are. Good to have you with us, Mike Siegel here. We're joined by our guest who has been involved for a very long time in the whole issue of extraterrestrial intelligence, Alfred Lambremont Webre. He is an attorney. He's based in Canada. And Mr. Webre, let me go back to just wrap up on that one point.
Sure.
Can we point to people on this planet who we know to be imbued with this intelligence from other planets or other places in the universe? We know who they are.
Oh, yes. I mean, I have colleagues who were actually left here as infants as part of a program of the Galactic Council. They were left here as infants, kind of the Superman story. They were left in a farmhouse, and they were raised by the farmer, and they're very outstanding healer now. And they're from an extraterrestrial planet and solar system that is of advanced human status, and they're part of a program of the Galactic Council to have children from all over the galaxy brought here, left as children, and raised here to kind of leaven our social fabric. And we're very, as a species, we're very enriched by individuals like this who are from other planets and who are brought here and who are raised here. And people who are in his community know that he is an extraterrestrial, know that he's from another planet, you know, and go to him as a healer, and he's a very accomplished person.
Well, I understand the point. And I look, I agree with you. I hosted a program that dealt only with these issues for a considerable period of time.
Right.
We did it every night. But the question is, you know, the other day, the woman spokesperson at Fox News came out, and somebody had criticized Megyn Kelly and her you know, the Trump
Right.
Kelly debate. Well, the person said, when somebody came out with some, you know, some alleged theory that was ridiculous, she said, "Well, it's just like UFOs."
Uh-huh.
In other words, trying to demean UFOs, and that that what this person said about the Megyn Kelly Donald Trump debate was as ridiculous as believing in UFOs. Yet, most of the American people believe we've had visitation, any poll you take. So
yes,
there's this unwillingness to accept. Now, you say that these people are actually raised on a farm, or somebody was.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't the media be covering that? I mean, if it's known, shouldn't that be covered? Shouldn't that? I mean, I would love to interview that person, for example. Can you arrange to get that person for an interview with this program?
Sure I can.
Because that would be. How old is that person in human years now?
He would be a little younger than I am. I'm not sure of his exact age, but he's probably in his 50s.
Now, would he live as long as a human being would live, or would he live the length of time that people from his planet would live?
Those are very, very good questions, and I can't answer them. You know, really, that you would have to ask him.
Let me ask you this, because there's been a lot of talk, for example, going back, way back, to the Egyptian days, when South Africa, of course, had mining being done, gold and diamonds, particularly diamonds, and you had, allegedly at least, ETs coming here using human beings as basically slave labor to mine the diamond mine. So is the continuation of that we have all of these beings here continually from that point to this?
Well, those are key exopolitical questions, and I actually went to Adam's Calendar in South Africa, which is the place where the Anunnaki ETs landed about 280,000 years ago. And that's the instance where they broke the law of non-intervention. And in order to secure gold for their planet, they broke a cosmic law. And they have been interlopers on our planet ever since then. And they have done great damage to the human race. And part of what we're dealing with now as a targeted planet is recovering from what they have done to us. Among the things that the Anunnaki did to us were, number one, using sound technology. Homo sapiens was initially designed as a 12-strand DNA light being in the third dimension, meaning that because of our 12-strand DNA, we have extremely advanced abilities to travel amongst dimensions psychically, and to access many dimensions. And
we, could we, if we understood how to use our brain power, could we time travel, for example?
Yes, that is one of the capabilities that we would have under the 12-strand DNA format. And I have another colleague who I'd be glad to introduce you to also, who he photographs extraterrestrials landing on on the U.S. Capitol, on Senate and congressional office buildings, and he's photographed Mayan Indians from the classical Mayan period who have probably gotten there by bodily time travel.
Haven't we had? Why have we've got about 45 seconds? Why for this segment? Why haven't we had, when they land on a congressional building? Why haven't we had security taking care of that problem? We haven't heard about it.
Well, he has met with the Capitol Police, with the U.S. White House. These are UFOs who are going to and fro their underground base, which is right adjacent to the White House. And the White House is in complete denial and does not want to make this public because they're essentially afraid that, people are going to say, well, here you have extraterrestrial craft, interdimensional craft that are violating what you call your highest.
We'll come right back on that point.
Okay.
Independent-minded. The Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
Are you resigned to tolerating back pain or joint discomfort? Now, Teeter Hang-Ups will help you, as it has helped millions like you, find natural relief in your home in a few minutes a day. Successfully target your lower back pain with Teeter Hang-Ups inversion. In addition to helping relieve back pain, improve joint health, build and tone muscle, and increase flexibility, Teeter Hang-Ups is rated #1. It is UL listed, assuring safety and quality. An engineering group did a test of competing inversion tables and found Teeter Hang-Ups outperformed all the others in every category. Teeter Hang-Ups uses heat-treated steel and auto-locking hinges, assuring durability and strength. A relaxing way to achieve a stretch, decompressing and rehydrating your back and joints in just minutes a day. Try Teeter Hang-Ups in your home on a trial basis. Visit TeeterRadio.com. That's TeeTer radio.com. TeeterRadio.com. You'll be glad you did. Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows, pause and rewind live TV, even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too at just $19.99. What are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Are you enjoying the Mike Siegel Show? Would you like to meet more people like yourself? Look no further. The Mike Siegel Show has just the thing. Go to gcnlive.com/m. There you will enjoy a special forum for you to communicate with others who also like the show. Tell us your opinion on what you hear on the Mike Siegel Show today. Visit us at gcnlive.com/m. That's gcnlive.com/m.
Hi, this is Walt Augustinowitz. I'm the founder and CEO of ID Stronghold. By now you've heard our commercials about wallets that protect you from electronic pickpockets. 10 years ago, I created a way to protect my own cards from prying eyes after government officials started talking about issuing a national ID card with a built-in radio chip called RFID. I felt having to broadcast my personal information was an invasion of privacy. Soon after, it was also announced that credit cards, debit cards, U.S. passports, hotel room keys, and even transit passes would all soon incorporate RFID. It was then I formed ID Stronghold to share my inventions in blocking RFID signals with the world. There are a lot of misconceptions out there today about RFID. I encourage everyone to get informed and get protected. Please go to idstronghold.com and get the facts and the wallet, sleeves, or badge holders you need to protect your personal financial data. You'll get pleasantly surprised that through our direct sales model, you won't pay more than other comparable unprotected wallets. It is as though the protection is free. Visit idstronghold.com today.
We've been patiently waiting while you tried to ignore us, waiting while you acted like we didn't exist, waiting for our chance to be taken seriously. The wait is over. GCN is available 24/7 at gcnlive.com. Navigate through news from your favorite hosts and download archives of past shows. Download the app on your smartphone or tab or visit gcnlive.com for instant access and live streaming. gcnlive.com, the future of talk radio, now at your fingertips.
Welcome back in, folks. Good to have you with us as we get back to our conversation on something that probably has more profound import than a lot of the things we talk about on a day-to-day basis. Alfred Lambremont Webre is an attorney in Canada, and he has been actively involved in studying the field of ETs. Mr. Webre, what got you into this? I mean, you went to law school, field.
Right.
This law?
I was general counsel to the New York City EPA at the end of 1972, and my boss, Mayor John Lindsay, decided he wanted to run for president. I didn't. I began reading books in the UFO area, and one night I had kind of my own multi-dimensional experience, and I said, you know something? I'm going to start studying this because that's something that's real, and I didn't learn this in law school. And within 6 months, I had written my first book, and I've been working in as sort of a cosmic lawyer ever since then.
Can you make a living doing that?
Well, I'm not in your 6 or 7 figure, area, but I'm alive, and I'm having a great time.
Oh, no, that's good. I mean, look, happiness is a huge element. I mean, people can make a lot of money and be miserable. Who would want to trade contentment? Because you're doing well. Look, people should do their passion.
Right.
You do.
Right.
Let me ask you that. You said that it goes back 280,000 years.
Yeah.
They've been here using us in South Africa. You said gold mining. I thought also diamond mining. Did they do diamond mining too?
They could be, but at least what has been followed has been gold, and because they needed gold in order to manufacture an atmospheric cover for their planet to protect it from the sun.
All right. So then, and you said they've been here continuously through that period.
Well, yeah. What they did is that they intermarried with and left kind of a ruler class, so that they really established monarchy, religion, government as we know it. And all of the kings and queens and all the popes and all government and all hierarchy that we know now descend from the Anunnaki. And in those photographs where we see the kings and queens wearing crowns and the popes and the bishops walking around with these kind of tall hats, and the Egyptian pharaohs walking around with these kind of conical caps on, because some of the Anunnakis had cone heads. They had larger heads that held larger brains. All of that is a heritage. Some say really bad. Some say, well, it's not so bad, that we have inherited from the Anunnaki. And all of the kings and queens trace their blood lineage back to the Anunnaki, back to the pharaohs, which were the Anunnaki, the inheritors from the extraterrestrial rulers. And that's kind of the history of the last 280,000 years. And so we're at a point now where...
They've been around ever since then, is that correct?
Yeah, not en masse. There isn't en masse gold mining going on now, although some people claim that there is, and that a lot of our gold is still being exported off planet.
And so it's going elsewhere. All right, so now, you've, without going into detail, you've actually spoken to people who are extraterrestrials in human form, let's say.
Yes.
Okay, so let's go from there to building this issue, because it's been frustrating. Look, we had the New Mexico incident where we had the ETs land. They crashed, actually. One lived. Lieutenant Colonel Philip Corso testified, not testified, but publicly said he saw an injured ET, and then they blemished him in the military, even though he had been a hero previously with a lot of medals, military hero, so to speak. And the story changed within 24 hours. They had about 3 or 4 different stories about that situation. And ever since then, whenever there's been some kind of an incident with an extraterrestrial vehicle, stories have changed. And the military comes in and protects against people getting to the location. At what point do you think, because you know Stephen Bassett, who's the UFO lobbyist,
Right.
is trying to get the government to acknowledge the truth that it has. Do you believe the government knows or has had contact with these ETs and keep it suppressed as information from the public? Do you believe that?
Yes, and the reason why this information is suppressed, at least as to one sector of the ETs, is that there are treaty ETs, and that is ET civilizations with whom the U.S. government has entered into extensive secret treaties, and part of the provisions of those treaties require secrecy and require that the identity and the presence of the extraterrestrials not be disclosed. It is most probable that the reason why disclosure has not occurred to date is that those ETs with whom the United States has treaty relationships, and they aren't the most savory of ETs. We entered into some very bad treaties with some very bad folks from around the galaxy, and those are the ones who have not wanted the public to know that the U.S. government gave them the right to abduct people. And so we're kind of at loggerheads there, because it's the upper dimensionals, it's the ethical ETs who want to bring technology, ethical technology to humans, and who want to break humans out of this cycle of war, disease, crime, and poverty, which is the cycle that humans have been in ever since the Anunnaki came in and occupied us, contrary to the law of non-intervention. So we're kind of in treaties with the wrong ETs who don't want to be disclosed, and we have to break out of those, and we have to form strategic alliances with the good ETs, and that's what's going to advance us as a race. And that's a conundrum that we're in. And that's why, sorry.
Have we done that? Have we actually, as the government or the Majestic 12, or the Harry Truman created, whoever it is, have they done that in creating these alliances with the good ETs?
No, because they aren't creating the alliances with the good ETs that are leading to disclosure. There's still the U.S. power, their power relationships are still caught up with the negative ETs that still are using their mind control and still have are running people inside the government and still are basically running the military. And so it's kind of, that's the basic equation. Now, the Russians and the Chinese.
Break, Mr. Weber, I've got to get to a break.
Oh, sorry.
So let me have you hang on, and we'll come right back and get into artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Rising now, and instead of 2045, where they were supposed to, at least allegedly.
Right.
We are the premier independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
You dread going to the airport, getting there too early or too late? Let us get you there at just the right time and take away your worries. Stay overnight in one of our comfortable rooms. Park in our secure parking lot. Take our shuttle to the airport, all for close to the price of what you would pay just for parking. Visit www.seattleairport.doubletree.com to book your park and fly package at the Doubletree by Hilton Seattle Airport, or call 800-222-8733. Our grandparents grew up in an era where quality service trumped all, where employees smiled and greeted with their first name. Well, the kind folks at Silver Reef Hotel, Casino, Spa haven't forgotten. They go for great. Every guest, every time. They invite you to experience the Silver Reef difference. Experience everything at Silver Reef Hotel, Casino, Spa, I-5, exit 260, 4 minutes west, or at silverreefcasino.com.
I am a 47-year-old female and had a heart attack in 2005. This is Alice from New Jersey. I still get angina, even with 4 stents. I was taking nitro 2 or 3 times a week. The very first day after taking heart and body extract, the chest pain was gone. Now I don't wear a nitro patch.
Learn the secrets of an effective, natural, 100% organic nutritional supplement for a healthy heart and circulation at hbextract.com. Everyone says or does something silly once in a while, but once that embarrassing thing is on the internet, it can spread like a terrible rash. Put it to rest. Get a free expert analysis today from Reputation.com. It only takes 30 seconds. 800-831-0771. We protect online image by helping to make sure that when people search for you or your business, they find the most current, accurate information possible. Reputation.com. Because word travels fast. Call for a free analysis today. 800-831-0771. That's 800-831-0771. You are an individual with your own thoughts, decisions, and actions. So why should you be penalized for not enrolling in the subpar health insurance mandated by the government? Be truly independent. Visit libertyoncall.org. Libertyoncall.org is a bold, innovative alternative allowing you to take back control and make your own decisions about your health care. Mention this ad when you call to learn more. 800-714-6993. That's 800-714-6993. libertyoncall.org. Call today.
That's disgusting. What's that smell? Roll down your window before I pass out.
It's so nasty. Fish oil comes up in pink.
Why won't you just switch to Nutrigold fish oil like I did?
It's fish oil. What's the difference?
Well, my Nutrigold fish oil is sourced and manufactured right here in the USA.
What's so special about that? Aren't they all?
Are you kidding? Of course not. Only Nutrigold fish oil is 100% USA made, which is why it's so fresh.
100% product of USA and fresh? I like the sound of that. So no more fish burps?
No more fish burps. And that's not all. You go to www.fishoil.bet and enter my fish oil, you can save $5 like I did.
No, that won't be necessary. We can just share your bottle.
Nice try. Get your own at www.fishoil.bet.
Sorry, get rid of those fish burps for good. Go to Nutrigold's US-made fish oil product by going to www.fishoil.bet and get $5 off by entering my fish oil at checkout.
Now, a twice as nice Twin Kit special offer from Complete H2O Minerals for all GCN listeners. Get a Complete H2O Minerals Twin Kit with 33 different minerals, vitamins, and amino acids all in a liquid form. Enough for 2 people for 1 month. Regular price $89.95. But now Complete H2O Minerals is offering the Twin Kit for $69.95. And all GCN listeners receive a bonus 16-ounce bottle of ionic silver absolutely free with free shipping. A $120 total value. Hurry, limited time offer. Call 803-794-4767 or click CompleteH2OMinerals.com. And we're back with you, folks. Good to be here. Mike Siegel in. We're joined by Alfred, Lambremont, Webre. Mr. Webre is an attorney. and actually worked for the John Lindsay administration when he was mayor of New York, which I remember well, but has gone into a totally different direction, and was fascinated by learning about ETs and life from other planets, galaxies, wherever, and has studied this rather intensely. Let me just ask you, Mr. Weber, how this has affected your professional life, because I interviewed Professor John Mack for 4 hours one night.
Oh, sure.
Medicine at Harvard. He passed away, but he was a professor of medicine at Harvard with psychiatric certification, so he had the whole gamut.
Yeah.
And studied, as you know, abductions. And he told me on the air there was no doubt but that abductions happened because he had several hundred cases of people where the common threads existed. These people didn't know each other from Adam, and they had similar experiences and descriptions of what happened to them. So it was very clear that in his mind it was a reality. But he also asked him the question about his effect on his professional life, and he said it probably had a very definite inhibition on his status as a member of the faculty of the Harvard Medical School. At Harvard University, he was on the medical school staff as a full professor, but that I think he was an associate professor, never got full because of this work. So let me ask you, has this making this a major part of your life affected you in that way by hampering your professional growth as an attorney?
Well, I think that I've taken different paths. If you look at my career accomplishments, I've been a judge of the Kuala Lumpur War Crimes Tribunal, which is an acknowledged international tribunal. We held trials on the legality of the Iraq War, and we found the former Prime Minister and the former President George W. Bush and his cabinet guilty of Nuremberg-level war crimes. I've been a faculty member at Yale of the.
Let me just ask you. No, you've had a prominent career, but let me ask you.
Yeah.
Did you also find that Saddam Hussein was the ultimate butcher, the equivalent of Adolf Hitler, killing 1 million people in his own country, killing one of his cabinet members when the cabinet member disagreed with him at a cabinet meeting, put a gun to his brain and blew it out? Did you also do that about Saddam Hussein, or was he the good guy?
Well, the Saddam Hussein was not on trial, and the defendants that were on trial were the heads of state and responsible cabinet officials of nations that had violated the prohibition against aggressive war and the prohibition against torture by invading Iraq. And so that issue never came up.
Iraq was sending homicide bombers to Israel to blow up innocent people. He would have sent nuclear suitcase bombs to the United States if he had remained in power. He violated 17 UN resolutions, the last one saying there'll be serious consequences if you don't comply. He would never agree to let the IAEA in to look at his nuclear development. I mean, how do you compare the Prime Minister of England or the President of the United States to this demonic, I won't use the language on the air that Saddam Hussein? He killed 1 million of his own people. Does that bother you at all?
Well, I'm not sure that those are the facts. And if it's compared, no, wait. The defendants in that case killed over 1.5 million Iraqis. So we're dealing with a complex case. I was asked to come in and judge the American and UK defendants, and the Iraqi government was not a defense. In fact, we had the former Minister of Health of Iraq who came and gave testimony in Kuala Lumpur, and the testimony given was that if you went to Fallujah, for example, and the use of depleted uranium weapons there and all of the ionizing radiation have given rise to a large number of birth defects, such that those were genocidal weapons. And it was the equivalent of a nuclear attack against the civilians of Fallujah. So,
Question. Wait, slow down.
yeah.
You believe that Saddam Hussein, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Saddam Hussein should have remained in power and we should have left him alone.
You mean with regard to Saddam? Okay. Look, I didn't realize that was going to be the subject of the debate, but if we're going to get into that debate, we have to get into the fact that Saddam Hussein was really an agent of Donald Rumsfeld and of the US military, who enrolled him in and sold him all of those weapons so that he could then commit genocide against the Iranian people in the Iran-Iraq war. And so that if we go deep into that issue, which is not my intention to go into it, because I didn't try Saddam Hussein. I tried George W. Bush, Richard B. Cheney, who flunked out of Yale when I was a freshman and he was a sophomore, who I think is a war criminal who belongs in jail at this time, and I will not back off on that. And Donald H. Rumsfeld, who likewise belongs in jail at this time, because they're all complicit in the false flag operation of 9/11, which is a war crime committed against and is an attack, is a treasonous attack under Article 3 of the US Constitution. They, as President and Vice President and Secretary of Defense of the United States, were utterly, by the evidence, and I say this as judge of the 9/11 War Crimes Tribunal, which I am, committed Article 3 treason against the United States by engaging in an armed attack against the United States. The Pentagon was hit by a cruise missile that was fired from a U.S. aircraft carrier off of New Jersey. It wasn't hit by any airliner that supposedly crashed into it. That's all part of the false flag. And we proved that in a week-long trial that we held here in Vancouver with multiple witnesses, including former CIA agents who the CIA kept in jail because they were coming out and saying, she was saying, look, this thing is a total inside job. So they kept her in jail for 2 years so that she wouldn't talk. Now, I didn't know that we were going to talk about that tonight, but if you want to open that can of worms, I will, because let me tell you, the U.S. government is a war crimes operation. And not only that, the U.S. government, Donald H. Rumsfeld, George W. Bush, had the CIA and DARPA in a project in which Donald H. Rumsfeld was the defense attaché as part of the Richard Nixon cabinet in 1971, had moving images of what occurred at the World Trade Center on September 11th, 2001, 30 years later, which they got through secret time travel.
I've got to close the show, but...
Yeah. Okay, but I mean, you ask a lawyer questions, man, he's going to come right back at you.
Well, what you're presenting is fallacious.
It's not fallacious. It's based on evidence, and you can look at the transcripts.
You went uninhibited for several minutes. I'm going to respond in the last 40 seconds.
Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely absurd. Saddam Hussein was a butcher. We knew that, and you want to protect him. You're a disgrace.
I'm not protecting Saddam Hussein. He was not on trial. It's like apples and oranges. You're crazy.
On trial.
You're crazy. You're crazy. You're just trying to divert the show. That's all.
I didn't try to divert the show. I wasn't going to get into that. I had no idea.
You got into it. All of a sudden, you went crazy about Saddam Hussein because you asked me about my career, and I told you that, among other things, I was a judge. I was a war crimes judge.